Ballet.
And I'm Karen Thomas in for Jacqueline Bolden. Old Man Winter makes his presence known, covering the area with snow and sleet. And that's first on Fox tonight. The first winter storm of the year has left behind a dangerous combination of wet roads and freezing temperatures. Ironically, ice was not the problem on Interstate 95 when it was shut down around 5 o'clock. At first, motorists thought traffic was stopped because of bad weather, only to find out a huge overhead sign had been ripped down and was lying in the middle of the highway.
Apparently one of the salt trucks lifted the back of it up, hit the overhead sign for the Common Avenue exit-only sign, caught onto the sign, and this is the result.
The salt truck was spreading anti-skid material, but the bed of the truck was fully extended and rammed into the steel apparatus overhead. One couple hurrying home from New Jersey got stuck in the traffic jam for hours.
I think it's ironic that we've been inching along for an hour and a half, and I said to Maureen, we're almost there, and then here we are, and they shut it down to correct the situation.
Finally, workers used a crane to clear the large bracket from the northbound lane just south of Cottman Avenue. Up until then, though, traffic had been detoured at the Allegheny exit. For motorists who could not get off the highway and spent most of their night stranded, their opinion was expressed loud and clear.
I think it's a pain.
Well, good news. All lanes on 95 are open at this hour, but motorists are urged to take it slowly because of the slippery conditions.
And traffic is still moving slowly out there, and for good reason. This is a live picture of I-95 near the airport. It's slow going now because ice has formed on some parts of the highway. Travelers are asked to be extra careful on bridges. PennDOT trucks are salting as many roads as possible, but again, ice has formed quickly on at least some overpasses. In Center City, umbrellas and raincoats were popular outer gear today. Rain and slushy snow began to fall, but soon changed over to thick white flakes in the afternoon. This was the scene near City Hall. Visibility was low, and few people dared to venture out. While the snow didn't stick in the city, there was some accumulation in the suburbs. 1 to 3 inches covered some areas of Delaware County. Luckily, PennDOT hit the roads early before temperatures took a nosedive.
And that's the purpose of our salting today, just to get something down so that it doesn't freeze up when that temperature hits 33 degrees.
Which brings us now to the Jersey Shore. Drivers in Ocean City had their windshield wipers on early this afternoon as the wet snow began to fall. From behind the wheel, the precipitation looked more like rain than snow, but as the afternoon wore on, there was no doubt that snow was indeed falling on the Ocean City boardwalk. The thick, wet flakes falling on sea oats and snow fencing made for some greeting card-like pictures, though the people working outdoors on this cold, wet day, including this mailman, didn't seem to be paying much attention to the scenery. And the winter's just begun. A big East Coast storm could be bearing down on us very soon.
Rob Garino is keeping a close eye on the approaching storm, and he has first weather. Rob?
Yeah, this storm we had today is going to look like nothing compared to what we may see Monday night and Tuesday. Let's go right to the numbers and talk about what happened today. 40 degrees was the high, and actually that's where we should be this time of year. That occurred at 7:32 this morning. Low 34 degrees, and that's where we've been sitting the last hour or two. And precipitation in the liquid form, about 0.16 of an inch, which means about 1 to 3 inches across the greater Philadelphia area. That's the reports we've received so far. All right, tomorrow morning, clearing skies and breezy in the morning. Temperatures at around 31 degrees, but coastal flooding and heavy snow could be moving into the region. I'll have all the details coming up a little later on. Back to you.
It's kind of scary. It makes you wonder, something like this can happen. I'm really surprised that nobody got hit with that, and if you kill somebody.
Well, fortunately, it didn't kill anyone, and there were no injuries. I-95, we're told, has been reopened. Now, elsewhere, things aren't too bad, but of course, Monday could be a whole other story. But I'll leave that story up to Mr. Weber. Live above the Schuylkill, I'm Byron Scott.
All right, Byron, thanks. Now let's check in with meteorologist Craig Weber to see if we can expect any problems with icing tonight. Craig?
Margie, the previous days, of course, temperatures were in the 50s, so thank heavens, because this storm comes in on us, and the snow is melting, of course, upon contact. As you take a look at the radar here, you can see it's starting to clear. Actually, the blue area you see there is snow back towards Bucks and northern sections of Montgomery. Now, here's the problem that Margie was alluding to. Tonight, temperatures will drop below freezing. And so with that in mind, we've had a pretty good day thus far, and no major problems with the snows, but we could see a freeze tonight. So it could make driving rather hazardous as you're heading off to church tomorrow. Big storm coming up. We'll talk about that coming up shortly. Margie?
All right, Craig. So that storm is going
also into Monday. It'll grow. And then what it's going to do is start moving along the same line of the jet stream, move right north up into our area. Gale warnings, indeed. Maybe a foot of snow. Just keep in the back of your mind those what you got for Christmas. You know, the hats and the gloves and the snowblower and the shovels. Keep them ready. Things could happen here probably for Tuesday, so maybe a foot of snow. Here is the satellite picture today, and there's a little break back in here. That'll be coming in probably by tomorrow morning. But what we need when we get snow is a low coming in, you know, from the south, and cold air and a cold front coming in from the north at strategically the same time. If the low gets in here earlier, it's all rain. If the cold front gets in here earlier, it sends everything southward. So just the right mesh today. So we did get some snow, 1 to 3 inches in many areas. You can see it's starting to end, of course. Northern sections of Bucks, Montgomery, out to Lancaster, some of those areas. The green areas are red. The blue areas, of course, is snow. Everything's sliding towards the north, but the showers and the snows are moving towards the east. Tonight, flurries. Rain is possible. It'll breeze up by tomorrow. It'll be cold, low around 30 degrees. That's where the problem arises. What did fall will freeze overnight and could find some slippery conditions out there in the morning. Some clouds tomorrow, breezy in the morning, and then the sun will come out a little bit in the afternoon, high 36, 5-day. Pay close attention. Here's how it looks. Tomorrow, pretty nice day. Then as we get into Monday, not a bad morning, but then things cloud up. We get the snow. A big major storm could be in here for Monday night into Tuesday. That's the big story of the week. It'll be windy as well. We'll continue to keep you updated on this. So it's a beautiful sight, and we're happy tonight, but watch for some slipping and slide in the morning, all right?
All right, Craig, thanks. We had a busy day in sports.
Local forecast.
Well, it's a wet, cold night in parts of the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Good evening, I'm Christina Abernathy.
And I'm Terry Smith. The wind is howling in the plains tonight, and it's an ominous sign of things to come for the east as a major winter storm starts to come together. We'll have all the snowy details in the forecast in just a few minutes. In the meantime, it was quite a Saturday for Florida with everything from a record high temperature in Miami to tornadoes and flooding in central Florida. 2 tornadoes tore through Polk and Osceola counties today. 8 people were injured and nearly 100 homes were damaged or destroyed. Now, the worst of the damage occurred between Orlando and Lakeland near Haines City. The orange crop also suffered damage in that area, and road crews are still working tonight to try to clear away the trees and the debris. Other areas of central Florida are dealing with another problem, flooding. Heavy rains over the past several days have inundated the city of Clearwater. The streets are flooded, making it hard to get around, and many of the homes are just sitting in feet of water. The one thing to keep in mind as you're driving around is don't cross water-covered roads. I can't say that enough. People get brave or stupid. I don't know which it is. You just don't know how deep or how fast that current could be, and that's why we tell you that. Well, just to prove our point about Florida getting too much rainfall, normally in December for Tampa and Orlando and Jacksonville, we'd have about 2 inches of rain to the state. But so far, Look at this, 15 inches, 12 inches. The good news is it has tapered off. The front has pushed on through. Cold airs and drier air is settling on in, though we still have a few showers around Key West, but not having too many problems there. The bad news is we had about 5 inches of rain in some areas, so those creeks and rivers are going to continue to rise, particularly along the Florida Panhandle and western sections of Florida. So if you live near one of those rising creeks or streams, please stay tuned, and we'll continue to keep you posted on what's happening. The cold front extends further to the north, and as we head further to the north, we get the cold air, and it's not rainfall, but it's snowfall that's catching the eye of many a weather forecaster here at the Weather Channel. This is the snow that we have seen to date, and we're still seeing some snowfall. We've got that area of low pressure sitting off the coast, so it's pulling in a lot of moisture. Temperatures at the surface are just above freezing, so it's cold enough through the rest of the atmosphere that it is coming down as snowfall, and it is not sticking really well at the surface because temperatures remain above freezing. But we could see some heavier accumulations back into the northern and western suburbs of D.C., maybe 2 to 3 inches or so. Look at the temperature. See, everybody, Philadelphia, you're the closest to freezing at this point. Now, the thing to keep in mind is even though temperatures right now are above freezing, as we get closer to freezing or below freezing in some areas, you may find some of the secondary roads a little on the icy side. Snow over with in Boston, and I should say in Baltimore and Washington, but some rain, snow, and sleet being mixed in around the Norfolk area. It's snow up toward Dover. It's snowfall in Philadelphia that's tapering off, but Atlantic City seeing, believe it or not, a little bit in the way of snowfall. Boston, you're also seeing some snow. Now, we've had some rain mixed in, but again, it's mainly going to be the frozen stuff that's coming down. And the accumulation should generally be on the light side, maybe 1 to 2 inches, and that's it. So really not too many problems. Again, it's just those secondary roads that may see the refreezing occurring that could be problematic. Now, that's what's happening in the eastern United States. In the west, it's a combination of factors that are causing some problems.
Well, that's right. A front in the plains and a deepening low-pressure area along the Canadian border are spreading snow across the nation's midsection. That system is just about to take a dive into the southeast, making for an interesting forecast. And, of course, we'll have more on that coming up in just a minute. But first, a very windy day for the east slopes of the Rockies, and we're going to take a look at why it was such a windy day and why it continues to be rather windy here. We've got an area of low pressure. This was Saturday morning along the Canadian border. Well, that low has moved off to the south. We've got an area of high pressure here to the west. The pressure difference between our low and our high making for some rather windy conditions. Of course, around our high, clockwise winds, around our low, counterclockwise. Northerly and northwesterly winds have been quite strong, and there's still the possibility that we could see some very gusty winds here, and we're continuing to see some rather gusty winds. As a matter of fact, winds gusting 20, 30, 40 miles per hour and more, and that potential still exists here through the Dakotas back to Colorado. So as we look at what's going on out there right now, we've got our area of low pressure, we've got our high, so things really pretty quiet for many folks in the western U.S., into California that is, and those clear skies and calm winds are going to make for a chilly night tonight in the San Joaquin Valley. We'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. But underneath our bright white clouds here, we are getting some wintry precipitation. And you can see that right here from the western Dakotas all the way back into Colorado. Notice our isobars here, our lines of equal pressure. When we see this many isobars, we know that we're dealing with some windy conditions. Again, the pressure gradient or the pressure difference between this low and this high making for strong northerly and northwesterly winds. So we're not necessarily dealing with a lot of snow falling right now, although it is still falling through Colorado, the Rockies, and on towards the north. But it's really the windy conditions blowing the snow that's already fallen about that's causing the problems, reducing the visibility. You could have problems in the Black Hills and back to the Panhandle of Nebraska and on towards Denver as some very windy conditions continue here. So snowfall totals not going to be terribly impressive.
Today's weather made it a bad hair day, but it was a good snowball day, right? Or
yeah, we
building.
had a call from ADCO that these kids made this 12-foot Indy car out of snow, and it could fit like 10 people in it.
Man.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat looking thing. And maybe a bigger snow on the way here for more snowmen and snowball fights coming in on Monday night and Tuesday, and we'll let you know. It's an interesting pattern developing across the area. But let's get to the numbers this afternoon. Kind of an ugly day out there. 40 degrees this morning at 7:30, actually matching the normal high for this time of year. Low this morning, and actually right now is 34, normal 25 degrees, record 64 in 1949, 8 degrees in 1989. Out at the airport right now, down a degree in the last few minutes, 33 degrees, humidity at 92%. Barometer still falling. The storm is moving away, but still deepening as it moves away. It's strengthening just a bit, but not bad news for us. Winds northerly at 14, giving us a wind chill of 14. And the precip there in the liquid form, 0.17 of an inch, which equates to across the area about 1 to 3 inches of wet snow. Let's check numbers around the area. Pretty much in the 30s. The warmest spots, of course, off to the south. Baltimore 35, Wilmington 33. Everyone else just above freezing. Overpasses tonight, a little slippery. Some of those spots that normally ice up, you have to take it easy on the secondary roads. Main road should be fine. We're not dropping a whole lot as far as temperatures. Wind chill factor, that's a different story. Temperatures starting to fall with a stiff northerly wind. 15 in Trenton, it feels like. Dover at 14, Wilkes-Barre 17, everywhere else in the 20s. So kind of a chilly, raw night if you're going to be heading outdoors here the next few minutes or so, if that's in your plans. All right, cloud cover continues to move away. The brighter white here, the heavier amount of precipitation offshore. You see the clouds now still over Wilmington and Philadelphia. But look, there's some clearing right here in Harrisburg, and that will start to move in later on tonight and into tomorrow morning as this first storm, and I say first storm, starts to move out because there's another one on its heels right behind us. There's the precipitation becoming elongated here as it moves away. The storm is going to sort of build up near southern New England and strengthen as it moves away from us. So pretty much most of the snow will end here, probably in Philadelphia the next hour, and then about maybe 1 or 2 in the morning in South Jersey. It's on the light side, and again, it's moving away. Doesn't look like much here right now, but this area of snow is going to beeline for the Carolina coast and develop into a big storm. Still some question marks on that, and we'll show you in a moment. We'll take you closer in at Doppler and show you where it's snowing and raining at this hour. And again, there's the back edge of the snow now just west of Philadelphia, maybe Conshohocken, Gulf Mills up that way towards King of Prussia just ending. Everyone else in the snow into South Jersey and a little mixture along the Jersey shore. And that, again, is moving away from us. That's the good news. Now, what do we look forward to the next few days? High pressure builds in tomorrow. Enjoy the sunshine because we're not going to see it for many days after tomorrow. Sunshine in here, kind of chilly, upper 30s, but seasonable weather. There's the snow off to the west. Watch what happens on Monday. This storm, you see the L getting bigger, starts to strengthen just a bit. The big storm gets closer to Philadelphia. Now, this is what will happen on Monday night and Tuesday. These are the latest computer models. They're saying it's going to start as rain. It's going to be warmer than this storm initially. It may pull in enough cold air and enough warm air to generate a giant storm off the coast. If that happens, the track is going to be very important because we may see coastal flooding, beach erosion, heavy snow inland, and we're talking maybe Harrisburg to Lancaster. A foot of snow is not out of the question. But again, the track is still uncertain, and we could see winds along the Jersey shore up to 50 miles an hour. This one is going to be much stronger than this storm we just had tonight. Here's your forecast overnight tonight. Starts off like this. Snow ends for everybody in the next few hours, about 29 degrees. A few icy spots on the overpasses. For tomorrow, sunshine by midday, chilly, kind of breezy through the morning hours, about 38 degrees through the afternoon. As we look at tomorrow night, a cold night and clear skies, coldest night we've seen this winter so far, close to it, about 23 degrees. And your Poconos and Shore forecast looks pretty good. Jersey Shore clearing out 39. Poconos, great skiing up there, temperature at around 30 degrees. Look at the extended forecast. A chock full of precipitation for Monday night and Tuesday, snow, rain, sleet. And then Wednesday, windy, we start to clear out. And you guys look on Thursday, that's not precipitation, that's confetti.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
New Year.
Love that.
That's what that was.
Happy New Year.
We'll keep you posted on this.